Hey everybody, welcome back. You can see right in here, you're right at that 12 on the ES, S&P 500. You're hanging in there. You did get above that 22, which is really nice. You're sitting right at this control bar. It's not the most critical one. You can see that you flipped it. What I like about the move is it's right off the 22. Then we went sideways. We formed this kind of wonky doji today, sitting right above it again. And after hours, they're starting to try to lift you up a little bit. But you're sitting right in there at that 4,800 level, which I like a lot. Just stay here and build. You're going into CPI Thursday. You have PPI on Friday. So these are things that you're going to want to watch. But this could have easily had broken today. There's no reason for it. I'd like this to start lifting and pushing a little bit more, but we did hold here on the RSI on 50, so that's exactly what you want to see there. Watch the NQ. See this, and it's actually stronger. Let's clean up all my nonsense and drill into this a little bit. You can see the 22. For those that are new, I use a 12, a 22, and a 55. You should use what you're comfortable with. I also pay attention to RSI, and you can see right down here how you got to 50, and then what did you do off that? You just bonked, and that's exactly what you want to see. So the doji had to make a decision. It did. It flipped. A long green bar right there, and now you're popping out over. Now you're over the 12. And now you're waiting to see if you can get back up here and get into the 17 handles again. Maybe, maybe not. You got CPI on Thursday and Friday, so you have to see. The most important thing about this is the retest, and I think that's what people are missing. So out of this, we had the break, get the control bar, everybody paddocks, GDP comes out, PCE comes out, right? Pulls back, goes sideways, and now you're breaking out. This is exactly what you want to see, guys, on any chart whatsoever. You want to see the breakout, you want to see the test of that, and where resistance, which was resistance here, resistance, right, becomes support. And that's exactly what you have here. This is what you want to see. I would expect a sharper pullback, but we're getting that in RTY, which is really kind of interesting because it's like they're just blowing off the fact that we're going to get rate cuts and like, oh, it's baked in. Certainly not baked in certain sectors for sure. We're going to talk about biotech and what's going on there. If you've been following us for some time, you're aware of where the JP Morgan conference that's going on, all these buyouts that are going on in that entire sector. We're going to talk about the 10-year here, get rid of the RSI for a second, and just want to focus on the fact that 4% is becoming a thing. How long does 4% become a thing? I don't know. But you're sitting right on the 200. People say don't chart yield. I chart everything. Look at the VIX imploding today yet again. Now, I don't really use moving averages on the VIX. We'll just leave the 55 in there so you can see it. But what do you have? You got right up to here, and now you're imploding. And we know that the more the VIX drops, that they are not buying puts. So where everyone's saying, how long can this last? Is it time to start shorting again? Short what? Like what are we shorting? Like just let it play itself out. Let CPI come out, let PPI come out. You know, I see a lot of we're gonna short again because we're right, because we missed the last rally. We're gonna have to just slow down and let the world go by and not be in a big hurry. You know, one of the charts that I really like to use, and I'll show you this, I really appreciate what everyone said about not having to worry about editing. It just lets me throw a lot more in, and I don't have to deal with it as much, and then I can just give more information to everybody. So let's do the sectors that have the 20 in it, and then we're just going to take the VIX, and we're going to convert this over. And for our intensive purposes, we'll just make this SPX. Now, you take a look at about 20 sectors that I have in here. We'll convert this to this as well, and anybody can make this, right? But this will just show you what's going on in the world, and this is going back to 22 or 23. This is going back. Let's move this out of the way, bring that down. So this is going back about a year. All right. So what I want to do is I want to zoom out of this and give you a 5-minute. And then what I want to do, before we go to 8, we're going to just go to the beginning of the year and look at 24. And you're going to see something here where XBI has just been an absolute monster. And then you're seeing healthcare, utilities, XLC. All right, now let's look past that and just watch what happens when we start to move this and how this is going. All right, XBI, the stocks, and cloud. All right, so after the first day, jitters are gone, and you start looking at your demarcation line. You start to see something here. Now, if you make your demarcation line, just to put this in perspective, let's make the demarcation line down to here, and we'll make this to 0 for a second. And just watch where that sits and how many of these sectors, let's get that exact. And look at how many of these sectors are above the 0 line for the year already. And I'm just looking at the third. Now, the more you move this, the more this stuff will play around, right? But you go to the third, kind of why I like doing this on TradingView because it's real time, it's interactive. But you go to the third and you look at this and go, okay, well, what's really going on? Well, biotech's a monster. So you have the JP Morgan trade. We've been talking about this for over a month with these trades out there. But we'll talk about them. There's a couple that you really have to pay attention to. The stocks, you see what's going on there. You need to be hyper specific on the stocks. We should spend some time on that. Cloud, we should be hyper specific on that too. There's some names there. So actually, I think that's a really good segue for us on what we should be focused on here. But if you're looking at how this is playing out and what's going on here, you're seeing buying. You're seeing oil implode, which is really interesting considering what's going on in the Red Sea right now. I'm sure everybody finds that, as interesting as I do. I certainly find that very interesting. So if we know that this is what's going on, and we know where the money's going, then that's where we should put our focus. Now, tomorrow what we'll do in the pre-market is we'll spend some time going over CPI. Make sure you tune into the pre-market live. It starts at 8:30, and it does start at 8:30. I'm laughing because sometimes it starts a little bit late, but it starts at 8:30. I shoot for 8:15, but at this point, who are we kidding? So you want to turn it around 8:30, but we'll go through CPI tomorrow. We'll talk a little bit about that so we're prepared for when it comes out on Thursday morning. But we need to just kind of take a step back on how this is playing out and what's going on here. I mean, this is a multi-year just where you've just completely underperformed the stocks. You don't usually underperform the stocks this much, and people are kind of catching on with this. We started getting involved in this. If you're in the community, we started buying this down here in the 70s, and we're still in it. We actually did a day trade on it the other day on LABU. We're going to walk through that chart in a moment, and we actually bought it for another trade here, because it made 0 cents. Now, let's say you're looking at this saying, oh, this can't possibly continue. This is completely beaten down. I actually go through it in last night's video, but why I want to spend time on this, and I want to just focus on this LABU for a moment. Does this remotely look like something that's done going? Okay, so yeah, we bought it here like we were planning. I ran a scan, and it was staggering. I found 232 names that were trading below book value, and if I looked up names that were trading below book value, below cash value, and had 50% of insider ownership right here when I did it, there was like 30 names, which is just absolutely insane that you're trading under cash, under book with 50% ownership. It was crazy. And it's not something that I haven't seen. I mean, I probably have not seen that since the great financial crisis. I've been trading over 20 years. I can't remember the last time I saw it. And then you're able to just find like these little guys like this. You're picking them off at like $2 and now they're at like 360. And they're all over the place. There's still a bunch of them. You could still run that scan if you want to go back and listen to what I just said. That scan's still there and you can still do well with it. But anyway, if you take a look at like LABU and how this is setting up, you're heading to this 150. We're in down here. We traded up. I think it was here. We pulled some out, left the rest on, and just rocking and rolling with it. And there's very little to do. It's actually getting stronger as people start understanding that these are at a huge discount to where they normally trade. They're completely beaten down. And people say, well, it's moved too fast, too high. Well, the people that have money would disagree with you. Okay, this thing was trading at $10. HARP got bought the day where people were selling LABU. It's mind-boggling to me what retail's doing with trading right now. They actually are selling these names. They're actually selling LABU, when people are coming out and buying HARP. They're actually doubling the price. They're coming out and buying these biotechs, and they're trying to trade LABU, and they're trading it down. Look at IMGN and how this is trading. They're paying up double to buy these stocks in the open market. And people are out there and they're not buying the LABU, they're selling it. And you're selling it in the JP Morgan's conference that we've been talking about for about a week now, and it goes to the 11th. Look at this BHVN and take a look at these names. These kinds of breakouts are everywhere, all-time highs on this name. This APLS that completely blew up, look, you're in the gap and you're pushing. And people are worried about Bitcoin's ETF. And they're trying to trade Mara around for $1 or $2. Meanwhile, you have stocks that are literally doubling. And I think it's silly to be trading off of this, by the way. It does absolutely nothing for Mara. So all you're doing is using it as a kind of like a proxy trade. There's nothing wrong with that. Just understand what it is. You could be fiddling around with this and Riot, batting it back and forth, or you could be looking at names like CYTK, which is exactly what we're doing, where they're talking about $16 billion merger talks with the Wall Street Journal, right? At the JP Morgan conference, Novartis. And people, this is a great segue into this as well, so we can kind of get where I'm going with this. Where am I going with all this? You need to start doing your homework and start understanding where cash flow is going. Start using that sector chart that I just walked through there. It will save you an inordinate amount of time and money to start checking. Anyone can build those charts. So use those charts so you can start finding out where the money's going. This was the craziest thing in the world. And I'm glad they did it because I was able to profit from it. But Friday they buy CYTK. You're speaking Monday at JP Morgan's conference. People are actually selling down here and we're actually buying it. If you listen on the pre-market live call, you can actually hear the little button going off as I'm actually buying the stock. So we're picking the stock off right in here and we're buying it, right? And then you come into the conference. If you sold some, that's great. You made a little money off the move. And then it just comes out, Novartis is in advanced talks. Wall Street Journal comes out, $16 billion price talk. Now, this is where it gets crazy. Stock runs up. Everybody loves it. Everyone's doing great. We're actually selling into this, right? We had calls. And we've had stock for some time, so we're up here at like $25, $30. Hold on one second. And you can see that right here. Here's the alert. I'll just show it to you so that you can see it. I'm not going to cut all this out. I actually want to walk through NVIDIA as well and what's going on there. We're going to get into this. So, because there's a subsector of semiconductors you need to pay attention to tomorrow. It's not all of them. There's a subsector of them. So CYTK calls doubled, so we blew them out. We made like 10 or 12 bucks. We still have a bunch of them. And then we were up like 25, 30 bucks. So when this happened, you look at that move, it happened right around 1 o'clock. And that's when it was time for us to start going, okay, well, it's time to get out. That everybody's in, everyone's giddy, everyone's like high-fiving themselves. That's when you sell into it, right? And then what happens today? Novartis goes on CNBC and says, oh, we're going to pay $5 billion. Let me give you an example of this and how crazy it is that retail's actually selling down here. And I mean, I want to thank them because we bought in here around $98. And again, I timestamp everything, guys. So people will say, oh, you show your winners. I show my losers too. And there are losers. And I do get asked, do I ever get sick of winning? And the answer is no. So if you can see right here, CYTK day trade, see right here, 92, you can see the timestamp and everything on there. We trimmed when it was up $3 and we left it on, and then we were talking about it. All right. So, and I am going to do a video on this because what I did with the position is I actually married puts to it, right? Because I was in at 98, then the stock trades up. You marry the hundreds to it, you put 5 in it, and then you just raise your cost basis. You just put that into your cost, right? Anyway, so here we are. So we're getting involved here. I want to be really clear about this. So Novartis CEO comes out and says, oh, well, we're really focused on $5 billion transactions. Okay, so if Novartis passes, let's just say devil's advocate, Novartis passes. You don't think somebody else wants to buy this company if you actually understand the drug and everything behind it? And I understand enough, a modicum of it, to be dangerous, right? You don't think someone else wants to buy it, or they want to go it alone? So do you think because they want to pay $5 billion for a company, they're going to sell it? Okay, so like if I want to go buy a Ferrari and the Ferrari's $250,000 and I go to the guy and say, I've got $125, you're going to have to take it. How do you think that's going to go? They're going to throw me out of there. All right. So it's not going to happen. And then they'll go to somebody else. And then Novartis can go, the CEO can go explain to his shareholders why when it was $44, he didn't buy the company. Or he could come out with a deal and buy the company. What do you think is more likely? Do you think he wants to keep his job or not keep his job? Right? So when you start connecting all this, it makes a lot of sense. So why people were panicking that, it gave you a great time to buy. You need to understand what's going on and why things are actually happening, right? I would continue to focus on the JP Morgan conference. It's definitely something that's been going on. It's certainly something that we've been paying attention to on these pre-market live calls. And it's certainly something we've been trading in the community and doing exceptionally well with. And it's not just the ones that I'm pointing out. We have the entire list together. There are people in the room that are picking these things off left and right and doing great with them. Get a list. I put the list out there. I showed it in one of the videos. And what I'm going with this is look at some of these names. They're just absolutely exploding. It's not over. It goes to the 11th. If you're not looking at these names and you're watching, ping pong Bitcoin back and forth, I don't know what you're doing with your time. I can only do so much. So RX, I would just look at those names. I would focus on these JP Morgan healthcare names. That's where I would go. Let's get into the SOX because we're going to go through these in sector by sector. SOX isn't lifting, but certain names are. Certain names have been coined, those AI names. What are they right now? NVIDIA. NVIDIA is something that we actually bought the other day, had an exceptional trade in. I actually walked through it in last night's video. We actually bought calls and then we held those calls overnight and did exceptionally well with those, and then also did another swing trade in it today. And I'll just walk through that so that you can actually see it when I say it, and you can see right here where we are in the video calls at the end of the day, and we did a swing when it broke out right there. And then you can see the trim, the first trim there, 75% in the 20s, we were up 75%, 25s, we were up 100%, 175, 20% trim, and then we moved the stop to 100% gain, et cetera, and then the swing, we were up $12. Take it if you want it, right? And there were some other day trades, some other things you guys can go and look at, whatever. So the point of me showing this is when people are saying, oh, this is over. People were telling me it was over yesterday. Does it look like it's over? If you understand what you're looking at, you know it's not over. Or you understand that the probability is that it's not over. Well, how would you know that? This is a Marubozu black. I said this in last night's video. This is a Marubozu white. Go look at the probability of this trade not having a follow-through day. Go look at the probability of this not having a follow-through day. All right? Go read Bulkowski's book on candlesticks. He goes through the percentages. Okay? It's pretty clear when something like this happens. Right? I'm a pattern trader. I trade off the fundamentals, technicals, and macro play, right? But when push comes to shove, you break out a 7-month base on a bar like that, you're probably going to have follow-through. It's kind of rare to not, right? So we were able to take advantage of that and get involved. Why am I showing you this name? This is not over. You might come back down here and pull, but there's a subsector that you need to focus on. And I'm going to give you the names. You need to focus on Marvel. You need to focus on NVIDIA. AMD is on the list. These are the names that JP Morgan coined. Okay, we went through some of these today in the pre-market live. These are the names that they are coining. SMCI as the AI names. All right, they're the names that you need to focus on. Get very specific for a reason. The market's getting very specific, and you need to get specific with it and focus on what is actually trade what's in front of you, right? That's what you need to do here. You need to focus on these names. Now, so then you have those three names. There's a couple more, but people are looking at cloud. Okay, so what are the cloud names that seem to be moving? Well, I'm going to give you one that most people probably are not paying attention to that JP Morgan says is tied to AI. Look at Arete. Arete's hitting all-time highs. Okay, you're going to have to do work here and start understanding why these names are moving. You're going to have to start understanding the fundamentals of companies and how they intersect with AI. And AI is not a fad. I'm sorry to bust everybody's bubble, but it is not a fad. And if you're shorting these names, you're absolutely crazy. And I'm entitled to my opinion, and so are you, but you are absolutely crazy if you were shorting these names up here and just waiting for them to break. Okay, so crowd, you got target price raises today, $300. Look at the stock breaking out. You want to start looking at where the money's going and why are they picking these names. Okay, that's what you want to start focusing on. Why are they picking these names? Why are they picking Arete? Right? So you have three sectors that I just showed you since January where all the money is going. So you can sit here and say, oh, we're due for a pullback, or you can follow the money. One will make you money, and the other one you can tie to your ego. That's up to you. That's it.